Mario struck out on his own in 1985's Super Mario Bros., he effectively changed video games forever. When he came back for an off-kilter sequel in 1988, people ate it up. I didn't, but people did. And 2 years later, Nintendo's early platforming efforts reached a creative apex in Super Mario Bros. 3, arguably one of the best video games ever made. Obviously, those 3 games are a huge deal. You don't need me to tell you that. In fact, the NES trilogy set the bar so high for the Super Mario series, it seemed like the plumber would have needed a cape or some kind of omnivorous dinosaur if he wanted to reach it again. Of course, in a land where mushrooms double your size and flowers provide fists of flame, that's not exactly an unreasonable request. And that and more was fulfilled by the incredible Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. To say this represented a golden age for Mario would be an understatement. This game released the year after Super Mario Bros. 3. Within an 18-month window, gamers were treated to 2 of the best Super Mario games ever made. And the great thing about World relative to Mario 3 is that, as incredible as they both are, they're also very different from each other as well. In fact, among the 4 original 2D games in the series, World perhaps represents Super Mario at its most creative and ambitious. Speaking in modern terms, if Super Mario Bros. 3 is like the 2D equivalent to Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario World is like Galaxy 2. It's a game that builds upon the foundation of its predecessor, but also pushes boundaries that the prior game was content to ignore. In terms of its core gameplay, Super Mario World is built from the same run-and-jump platforming that has defined the Super Mario series for the last 30 years, and by 1991, Nintendo had already honed those 2D mechanics to a gleam. World uses the same tight and responsive controls you'd expect from the plumber, and as simple as it sounds, that's one of the things that has always made the Super Mario games so enjoyable to play, the exemplary controls with which you move him. But in addition to sharpening existing gameplay points, Super Mario World also does a few things differently. In a move that may seem antithetical to the development philosophies fueling the rest of the game, Nintendo scaled back Mario's arsenal of power-ups for Super Mario World. So gone are the Tanuki and the Frog and the Hammer Brothers and the raccoon suits of the prior game. Where Mario 3 may have overdone things a bit, Super Mario World streamlined your options down to the Fire Flower, the Super Mushroom, and of course a lone newcomer. The legendary Cape Feather came to define Super Mario World in the same way the Raccoon Leaf defined Mario 3, both in terms of marketing and its gameplay. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, only legends wear capes. Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, Mario. Of course, to be fair, this game did make another addition that had a pretty sizable impact on its marketing and its gameplay and its legacy, and it was a freaking dinosaur. Now, the specifics are a bit of a mystery. Given his diet and his skeletal hip structure, my money's on the Sauropod suborder of the Ornithischians, but that's not important. What is important is that you can ride him, and that he eats, like, everything. So the additions of Yoshi and the Cape Feather may seem minor on paper, but they really allowed Nintendo to push the already extra creative level designs of Super Mario World even further. From the Donut Plains to the Forest of Illusion to the Vanilla Dome, this game's levels have a distinct flavor all their own among the Super Mario games. In fact, they're perhaps closest in design philosophy and vibe to those of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Of course, aesthetically, Super Mario World's levels and characters also set the tone for the series moving forward. Mario's upbeat attitude and his current woohoo design, it really came into its own in Super Mario World, and the colors and themes of these levels have also been standard bearers for his adventures ever since. But you know, the thing that's most striking about this game is how supremely playable it still is. It feels every bit as fresh and engaging today as it did in 1991, and you can forget all of its history and its supreme level design. For that reason alone, Super Mario World is still a must-play game, and I'd be willing to bet a Starman or two that it always will be.